Welcome again, and thank you for joining in today. I am today going to be actually using some quotes from one of my favorite teachers. I was more than privileged and blessed to have been under the tutelage of Thich Nhat Hanh. I did walking meditations with him up the hills by Deer Park in San Diego, and he was first putting it together. And of course, can you imagine being a client of mine? The first thing you come to me for healing or for fitness, and the first thing I say to you is you have to read this book. And I've had many clients say to me, or would-be clients say, what does this have to do with fitness? And I also ask them to read Timothy Galway's The Inner Game of Tennis before we start working together. And there are many reasons for that, but this is a very important book, and I really hope that you will think about adding it to the books that you will read, because it makes an enormous difference to read this. You will be very, very surprised when you see for yourself that how important this book is. So I'm going to put up a quote from Thich Nhat Hanh on the screen down below, and I hope that you can see it. And this is to remind you why I'm putting it here. And he said, many people think excitement is happiness. But when you are excited, you're not peaceful. True happiness is based on peace. Therefore, the reason for me asking everyone that comes to me as a client to read this book, because I do think that peace is what we need in this world. If we came here to be happy, we didn't need to come here at all. Because I think in the spirit world is where we're truly happy. Because I think we came here to learn how to be peaceful. So, and that is why I am asking you and inviting you that you start really focusing on how you can create peace in every step that you take. Now, one of the things to create, ways in which to create peace is to have clarity. You cannot be peaceful if there's no clarity. And I was very influenced by Thich Nhat Hanh and his teachings. So look at this particular one where he says, look at flowers, butterflies, trees. It's right below here. And children with the eyes of compassion. Compassion will change your life and make it wonderful. So one of the ways to have clarity in your life is just you beginning to pull compassion into your life. Now, before you can look at flowers and butterflies and trees and children with the eyes of compassion, you first need to look at yourself through the eyes of compassion. Practice compassion with yourself. That's the moment when peace will be given birth in your life, is when we begin to practice compassion with yourself. Look at all the different ways in which you can practice compassion with yourself. What's your first thought in the morning when you get up? That's an opportunity to practice compassion with yourself. What's the last thing at night before you go to bed? I know many people who've told me when I'm working with them as life coaches that the last thought they have before they go to bed is, what did they accomplish today? Were they productive? But you're not here to be productive in the sense of what did you achieve externally. You're here to remember who you are. It's like a little game we were, put here in order to return to the place from which we started, and it's like a little hide and go seek game that we're playing here. So Thich Nhat Hanh says there are thousands of channels in our consciousness. It is up to us to choose the channel. And that's why compassion is so important. Why don't you tune into the channel of compassion, switch off the channels of mainstream media, and start practicing with yourself how to be compassionate. Therein, you'll find all the beauty and truth about who you are. Why? Because, as Thich Nhat Hanh says, you are alive. And because you are alive, everything is possible. Everything and anything is possible. So don't say to me, oh, forget it. The circumstances that we're in right now, that's just not true anymore. That is true. You've got to go within. You've got to go. This is the time to go within. We're being invited to do that. We're being invited to really live a life that is based on inner peace. We're being invited to live from the inside out rather from the outside in. If you don't like what you see going on the outside, it's just an invitation for you to really go to the place that matters, which is internally. So again, Thich Nhat Hanh says, when another person makes you suffer, it's because he suffer or she suffers deeply within himself or herself, and his or her suffering is spilling over. He or she does not need punishment. He or she needs help. That's the message that he or she is sending to you, that this person is saying they need help. And that is why they're lashing out and they're being so nasty and bitter and coming out with things and saying and doing things that are just blowing your mind. You need compassion. Compassion is what's missing in their lives. And guess what? They're reaching out to you for that. So this is your invitation to go there. When you have clarity into your life, that will make a big difference when somebody lashes out. Because we need enlightenment, again, by Thich Nhat Hanh. We need enlightenment, not just individually, but collectively, to save the planet. We need to awaken ourselves. That's why it matters how you respond. That's why it matters that you respond with compassion. Because we, all of us, as a human race, collectively, we need compassion. We need to awaken a mass consciousness here on Earth. It's very critical that this mass consciousness be awakened right now. We are dependent on it to be awakened. So remember, when somebody lashes out at you, they're suffering. When somebody starts creating edicts and mandates, they're suffering. Respond with compassion. Respond from a place of clarity. So respond with love. Don't look for excitement. Look for peace within yourself. Because to be beautiful means to be yourself. This is what I have down below from Thich Nhat Hanh. You don't need to be accepted by others. You need to accept yourself. It is you that's missing from the equation in your life if you're feeling powerless right now. But you can only find yourself internally. So I will be using a lot of different tools. Of course, one of them is suggesting reading books like this, in which we can start building our internal world, and we can start really profiting from going internally and being completely and totally present for ourselves internally, within. So join me here, won't you, to click the subscribe button and the notification button to learn how to do so. And we will be doing this day by day, just 5 or 10 minutes. And this is what I call the elegantly raw tidbits, because they're just tidbits, little pearls that I would like to offer to you. And I would love if you offer something back by just writing below or by just spreading the word. So thank you all, everyone. Remember, peace is every step. So I look forward to more with you. Next week I'll be actually going to the differences between purification, detoxification, and cleansing. Until then, be mindful,